Medicham has been the best Pokemon for a very long time. Its combination of great stats, good typing, and excellent moveset has put it back on to over 80% of winning teams this season. In the most recent move update, Medicham had its preferred charge move Psychic nerfed from 90 damage to 85. At the same time, Lickitung came back into popularity, and together they form the best core currently in competitive Pokemon. In Pokemon Go, a Pokemon has its base stats and its IVs. The base stats are the same for every Pokemon of the same species. Any Medicham will always have 121 attack, 152 defense, and 155 stamina as its base stats. IVs refers to individual value stats that separates one Pokemon from another, and it's often referred to as how a Pokemon is trained. Some trainers recently discovered that there are IV combinations that lets a Medicham win the mirror matchup with only throwing Ice Punch. Usually you would have to run Psychic for your Medicham to win the mirror matchup, so this was groundbreaking. For giving up some IVs in HP, you can invest some in attack and a lot in defense. And your Medicham might become what is called Medicham Slayer. That means you have a much easier time in the mirror matchup. Your counters will do one more damage than theirs, and you will also take one less counter damage from their counters while they attack you. This stat spread makes it easier for players to run Dynamic Punch as their second charge move on Medicham instead of the usually preferred Psychic. Dynamic Punch is cheaper and deals more damage in neutral matchups, and it also hits very popular Pokemon like Umbreon, Registeel, and Lickitung for super effective damage. Choosing what secondary charge move is best for Medicham is kinda like choosing between the Olsen sisters. While Elizabeth currently is the most popular one, both Mary-Kate and Ashley have been incredibly popular in the past and still has merit. Am I right? So which move is actually better? The worst answer of all time is also the right answer here. It depends. Dynamic Punch Medicham has done exceptionally well in the first 6 or 7 tournaments this season. Among the most popular picks, there aren't any clear targets for Psychic, other than opposing Medichams. And when your opponent's Medicham is on Dynamic Punch as well, it doesn't really matter. As mentioned, Dynamic Punch Medicham has better matchups against Umbreon, Lickitung, and Registeel, while also slightly better against Carbink and Lanturn. It struggles a bit more with opposing Medichams, Poison types, and flyers that take neutral damage from Ice Punch like Charizard and Pelipper. As Medicham with Dynamic Punch provides better cover for bulky Dark and Steel types, Lickitung is by far the best partner for it. Lickitung still has a playable matchup against Dynamic Punch Medicham as long as shields are still up. If you add Frostlass to your team as well as your preferred Ice type, you gain an Umbreon weakness, but you also cover for other Medichams, making even better use of Dynamic Punch in this team's setup. The question you always have to ask yourself is, what do you want your Medicham to do? If you want to run both Alolan Sandslash and Umbreon on the same team, you might need your Medicham to cover for other Medichams. In that team, running Psychic would maybe be preferred over Dynamic Punch because it gives you a better matchup into other Medis. Let's say you've made your mind up about running Dynamic Punch Medicham, and then you add Umbreon to your team because you really enjoy how bulky it is. And your third pick, you want an Ice type, and the 3 most popular Ice types are Frostlass, Alolan Sandslash, and Alolan Ninetales. Because you're already weak to other Medichams, Alolan Ninetales and Frostlass helps you better cover for your weaknesses, while Alolan Sandslash only adds on to it. But if you go with Alolan Ninetales, neither your Dynamic Punch Medicham or the Ninetales can hit opposing Toxapex that you might encounter. And that's how you go through your entire team. However you set it up, you want to check for common threats along the way. And I did. Twice! So for your Dynamic Punch Medicham, your team might look like this. While with your Psychic Medicham, your team rather look like this. And that's 2 entirely different teams with only Medicham overlapping between them, and it only started because of a single move update in one Pokemon. Personally, I believe that Dynamic Punch has been the way to go, but with Clodsire, I believe its days are over. I think Medicham would rather run Psychic to hit Clodsire as hard as possible, and thus taking over as the most popular charge move option for Medicham. These are my thought processes when I evaluate a team and how to build it and decide what moves to run. If you have any insights that I have missed, keep them to yourself and surprise us in the next upcoming tournament. Thanks so much for watching the video. I'm trying to grow competitive Pokemon by showing how strategy, execution, and skills are necessities to do well. If you liked the video, please leave a like and share it with someone that you think might have value of watching something like this. It's not just a tap-tap game after all.